new Mondays on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
This is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
OverDrive off and running. TSN 1050 on the TSN app, your home smart speaker, up on TSN 5, up on YouTube Live. Brian Hayes, the O-Dog, Jeff O'Neill, Jamie Noodles McLennan.
What's going on today?
What's going on? How we doing? How we feeling?
Hazy, you need to explain something to me because I'm concerned that people have lost their damn minds, and I need you to break down something with me. Today was a great day for hockey, a great day for OverDrive, a great day for Mitch Marner. And all I saw on Twitter was idiots and morons, some reputable people who should be ashamed of themselves, and all it turned into was a gong show where it was like, Toronto, you're idiots, look what you have in Mitch Marner, and then this guy was arguing this. I'm like, can't we enjoy anything anymore? Can't it be nice that Mitch Marner had a great moment and won a game for Canada? Why did Twitter turn into a WWE cage match where – can you explain that to me?
Well, you can't possibly be surprised. I mean, you can't possibly
So that couldn't have just been a nice moment, which it was.
Of course it was a great moment. I mean, it was electric, man. It was 1 p.m. Eastern time on a Wednesday. My kids are at school. My wife's at work. I'm in my house going nuts. I got guys dropping deliveries off. It's snowing like crazy. I'm thinking, how am I going to shovel? With 5 minutes left, I get a text from the Grappler saying, are we rolling out Hello Darkness, My Old Friend at 4 p.m.? Like, I'm thinking that is going to be played at 4 p.m. today, and the whole show is going to be about how awful everything is and how could it possibly happen. But the reality is the Leafs are a driving force of the hockey world, and whether it's pumping tires, not pumping tires, and the history of Leaf fans, unfortunately, is a history of living in a hypothetical world, a what-if world. What if Carey Fraser called the high stick? You know, what if they beat the Sabres in 99? What if they beat your Hurricanes in 02? What if they didn't trade Kadri? What if they kept Lou instead of Dubas? And probably the ultimate one will now be what if with Mitch Marner. That's probably what's going to happen for the rest of time. What if he stayed? What if they traded someone else? What if they had – and it has nothing to do with the Leafs. He's playing for Canada, scoring.
Dude,
we're all
Canadians.
Canadians.
I know, but I tried to explain to somebody that was at my house. My contractor was putting a railing in, and I said to him, two things can be true. He didn't get the job done come playoff time for the Maple Leafs, and he also had great moments at the Four Nations and in this tournament winning it in overtime.
It's amazing.
Like, just because that he had these couple moments with the Canada team at the Four Nations and here doesn't mean that he was awful and we were totally misunderstood and are analyzing of his play for the Maple Leafs. Like, two things are true there. I just don't know why it turned into an absolute gong show. Man, the guy must be polarized. It was just a cage match on Twitter. A cage match.
Yeah, it will continue
You're right,
to be.
though. But, Brian, you're right. It's because it's the Leafs and because it's the way – like, he left. Keep that in mind. Like, he had an opportunity to re-sign, and he didn't. He decided to leave. But this is a different team. I don't see, Morgan Riley's not on the defensive end playing with him today. You don't have Stolarz in net. It's different. So he's playing for Canada. He has tremendous success. I think you're allowed to be happy for him and for Canadians today. I was scared. I was texting in the group text. I was nervous. Hayes, you said next goal wins, and then Czech scores it. You're like, oh, my God. And it wasn't like it was they scored with 18 minutes left in the third. It was, 7.5 or
Not
something?
even,
It was, I was nervous. And I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be goalie gate. What's wrong with Bennett? What's going on here? What's going on there? McDavid can't get it. It's legacy stuff. But they found a way to get it done. It's one step.
They found a way.
It's one step.
It's one step. They still got two more, right? They still got to win two more games. The play Marner made was a phenomenal Mitch Marner play. Like that's what I think everyone should appreciate, because Leaf fans know it better than everyone because we got to see it for so long. Yes, we didn't see it in Game 7 against Florida or against Tampa or against Boston, and that's a completely separate story. We're going to have those chats for the rest of the time. That's just the reality of it. That's the way it works with sports and Leaf fans, and he is a polarizing figure. But that was a Mitch Marner. He got the line. He basically pressed pause and said, I can go to Celebrini or I can find a gap. Everyone thought he was going Celebrini far side. I thought so. I think the three Czechs thought so. He found a gap. It was not a rifle like Matt Sundin backhand. It was just perfectly placed. It was beautiful, and it was the biggest goal of his life. And obviously that's because he hasn't had bigger goals in his NHL career. It's only the quarterfinals. I hope he has a bigger one. I hope he's got 2 more in him. I hope he has a huge one in the semis and a huge one in the golds, because this isn't about – I don't care about the Leafs right now. They're practicing. I couldn't care less about what's going on. I love that Chris Tanev's out there. I should say that. That's amazing. But I'm on the Canadian train like everyone else. There should be 35 million Canadians who are saying, thank God Mitch Marner's over there.
That's all I could think of, Brian,
was amazing.
where it was like, what an amazing moment for the country, for Mitch, and the comeback story, and the bizarre 8 guys on the ice for the Czechs. And it was just awesome entertainment. And for it to turn into, like, Jesus, there's some people. They're losing their damn minds.
But that's the thing, though. Let's put the Leafs to bed, because, again, they're not playing in Milan. It's not the Leafs are not over there. But this is where, yes, Leaf fans and Leaf media are guilty of hammering away at Leaf storylines, of course. The rest of the country is obsessed with the Leafs. They always have been, and they always will be. And that's a bigger driving force here. It's not the Leafs. It's Montreal and Vancouver saying, can you believe this? Look what Mitch did, and he's in Vegas now.
Dude, even the players
stuff.
Brian, after the game were like, I thought Mitch couldn't get it done in key moments. Must be a Toronto thing. I'm like,
Mark Stone said that.
What is going on here?
But they're being asked the question, Noodles. That's what's happening.
Exactly. They're being asked the question, and what they're doing is taking subtle shots. Like, Mark Stone is happy to have Mitch Marner as a teammate, just as Austin Matthews was happy to have Mitch Marner as a teammate last year. I keep reminding people, this was a transaction. He moved on. He put 9 years in, and he played pretty damn well for 9 years for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Yes, they didn't have team success, but we talk about it. You know, Connor McDavid's been to the finals 2 years in a row. He hasn't had team success yet, but he's still the best player in the world. 2 things can be right, what you're saying, but at the end of the day, people just want to complain. There's people going, Jordan Binnington. Hey, you know what he does? He wins big games.
He wins.
You know,
he wins.
Regardless of what you like or what you disliked, it's a weird, and I'm nitpicking as a goalie. I didn't love the Pasternak power play goal. I'll be honest. I didn't.
Really?
I thought it was short side.
I thought that was a bullet, man.
It was a bullet. And sometimes the player, you give a tip of the cap and say, what a bomb of a shot. But I guarantee you, Binnington will watch the replay and feel like he could have played it a little bit differently. That's just a nitpicking goaltending thing. But I thought Binnington made some really good saves. Again, he doesn't look overwhelmed by the moment. He's not. You know, he's got ice in his veins.
Yep.
And that doesn't mean he's going to deliver goal just because he won this game, but he is the guy. You know, he's proving it time and time again that they're comfortable with him. They're not. John Cooper's not worried about it. Throws him out there, and 4 Nations, Stanley Cup, and this was a big game, and they needed a few big saves, and I thought he played very, very well.
Gave it to them. Like, Nate just had the breakaway late. He made 2 great saves there. There was a post-to-post on 3-on-3 in overtime. He made a great save. Like, there was, it was a left shot. I don't know who it was on the Czech team. Kind of came down Broadway, and he made a great save. And, I mean, that's the reality of Binnington is he is obviously polarizing because of his statistics. We understand it. We get it. I think it's going to be unfair if they get to the semis and they lose 2-1. People are going to say, I knew it, and that's unfair. Now, if in the semis he gives up 4 goals on 6 shots, then you can say, I knew it. You can. But you got to be fair with this analysis. And, you know, what he's done so far is he shows up in the biggest moments, and it's very clear.
I understand what you're saying with that, Brian, with the comments, but It's almost like the idea, like even the comments during the game with these idiot people that are watching it, they're like, some stuff's not going on, and it's like, there's only the one line going, and then it starts. It's like, why is Nick Suzuki on this team? Anybody seen like, it's just like they don't understand. It's the best of the best, and not everybody is Eric Lindros on every shift where they get the like. It's just sometimes you have a bad night, so it's like you're obviously going to say "I told you so" if he doesn't have a great game in the next one. But sometimes in a one-game elimination game, man, it's like you don't have your A game, and that's just the way it goes. So,
and that's what's concerning, guys. That's honestly a goalie can do it. Good or bad, your own goalie doesn't have a good game. The other goalie steals one. You have a great performance. I thought you got to give the Czech Republic a lot of credit. They played yesterday. They played hard. And they've got, for the most part, their team are NHL players. Like that's, they know how to play. And they played well today. They deserved a lot of credit. I saw their coach, chirping about the refs and stuff like that. Honestly.
Well, the problem with that is the Palat goal, they had 6 guys on the ice the whole break.
Yeah. Like they 6 guys in the hug.
Broke up the ice with 6 guys on the ice, and all 6 were in the huddle after the goal. So that
whoever stops showing these still pictures. It's embarrassing.
I know we got to stop with the still.
Stop it! It's embarrassing.
Why?
Please.
Well, I don't mind it. It gives us a break.
It's stupid. It's stupid. Either show the goal or I'm not looking at those still pictures.
We
can't.
We don't have the rights to. That's why we're not. I don't know why.
Stop showing the still pictures. It's embarrassing. Draw pictures if you have to.
It's not Joe from the. Why are you so bent out of shape today? Canada won. This is what I don't understand. You're yelling and screaming and mad at everybody.
This guy,
Canada
honest
won.
to God, you wouldn't think that they lost
today. Did they lose? I would get the reaction if they lost. They won the game.
I'm mad at. Well, I thought it would be a more. I'm happier than anybody.
Okay, then
I don't like
still
to
stay up. Then
no.
Who cares?
No,
yeah, put the still up again.
It looks terrible. Either show us the goal or
we're not
don't
allowed to. We don't have the rights to.
Okay, no more still pictures.
Right.
But everyone was just attacking players, and it's like it's not a game of perfect. Man, that was my only point about Banner.
I agree with you. And the flip side of it all, if they lost, because you're right, Noodles. Like Czechia showed up to play. They were aggressive.
They did, dude.
They were better than Canada in the first. Better than Canada. And then Canada started to come alive, obviously. And I think Canada, over the course of the game, outperformed them. But that doesn't matter. It's about the scoreboard. And they were, 4 or 5 minutes away from winning or a shot in overtime from winning. And if that happened, it wouldn't mean Binnington's a stiff. It wouldn't mean, Marner should have left. I knew I was right. None of these narratives ended today or would have ended either way. They all continue. But the reality is Canada survived. That's what happened today. They found a way to survive. And, I think we're possibly burying the lead because the biggest story is probably Sidney Crosby. And it was really tough to watch him leave. It looked bad. It looked very troubling in terms of what could be who knows what he injured. It's a lower body injury. I think that's pretty clear. But, it's a scenario where that's your captain. This is his last Olympic Games. The idea that he's going to be here in 4 years, I think, is asking too much.
It's not happening, dude.
It's
a lot.
Not happening. And, he was out. And that could have killed the bench. That could have been very deflating. You're down 2-1 and Sid's out. That could have been very deflating.
Well, as good as those players are, Hayes, it seemed like the balance kind of disappeared a little bit when he left the ice because it was like McDavid, McKinnon, and Celebrini, and then they were buzzing with Makar on the ice. And when they got off, not a whole lot going on.
Well,
not a whole lot going on.
And it sounds like what I like about it, and again, you're just hearing stuff, but that Sid addressed the team after the second period, too. Like a little, leadership type of stuff. I love that. And you know what? These guys know how to play. And this is where I'm coming back to the Binnington. We'll move on. But every once in a while, what is Logan Thompson's history in international hockey and in deep into the playoffs and stuff? At least with Jordan Binnington, we know there's a history. And coming back to Sid, I love the fact that he addressed the team, but I am concerned moving forward because he's a big pillar. And I think a lot of guys in the room, they look to him. They look to him to lead the group, to stabilize the group. And they could have wilted in the third period. That's a coin flip third period.
Big time.
Where that breakout, regardless of 6 guys on the ice, they score there with 7.5 minutes. You don't have Sid. Maybe a quiet bench.
Very deflating. And like the guy
deflating.
who basically took his spot was Suzuki, and he scores the tying goal. On a beautiful tip, man. Like that was going 3 feet wide, and he tipped that puck. And he was at the end of his shift, and he could have quit on that play too. He could have dumped it in and said, check, please, get McDavid over the boards. And he chased it down. He had a great forecheck. He kept the play alive, and he went to the net. And that's what you need because, these are depth players that showed up for you. Like that's what Marner is. That's what Suzuki is. They're great players, and you need that on a cup run, on a gold medal pursuit. You need it. But it's McDavid, McKinnon, McCarr. Sid may not be available to you. How about Celebrini at 3 points today? A goal and 2 assists. Like, it's just amazing that obviously they start 3-on-3 in overtime. McKinnon and McDavid, the second 2 out, Marner and Celebrini. And he's out there, and he should be out there, and he performed incredibly well again today. And I think if Sid is going to be out, like that's a kid, I wonder what they're going to do with him. I don't think they'll move him to the middle of the ice.
Maybe you have to, Brian.
It's an interesting thought. It's an interesting thought.
Put
do you load up
McDavid
a
with
line or spread it out?
Put McDavid with McKinnon and then put Celebrini, try to stack a second line.
But were you not happy with, like, to me, were you not happy with Suzuki sliding in there? Like, I thought Suzuki's fine.
I thought he was fine.
Not overwhelmed.
Yeah, I mean, he scored a goal, clearly. But I'm just saying they clearly put an emphasis on 3 guys up the middle of the ice. And if that third guy's not available, the next guy up would be Celebrini, I would think.
Yeah, I don't think you touch him from that top line. There's too much mojo going on there, and I think whoever you believe can center that third line can go with Stone and Marner. Like, it's been proven, Marner drives a line. He can drive a line. Regardless of what people think, he can drive a line.
Everyone knows that. It's just a matter of the biggest moments. I mean, everyone knows who he is.
But, I get it, and I understand the word, biggest moments, Brian, but you only get a few in your career. Mm-hmm. So far, he's had a couple big ones in the last calendar year for him. And, yes, it wasn't for the Toronto Maple Leafs the way that people wanted or expected. But, best on best, he doesn't look out of place. He looks comfortable, and he's playing with great players, and he's making them better as well. So good on him. People can go back to bagging on him or being pissed off at him or hating him a week from now. But right now, you need all those players in that dressing room. And I thought he's, I said it before. I was bullish on it. I thought he was an X factor because I thought he's, if you have him on matchups on the third line, you're looking pretty good because you're going to get different matchups, right?
Big time.
No,
he's been he's been very good. Playing with Stone has been hugely beneficial for him. And by the end of the game, they kind of loaded up 2 lines. And it felt like McCarr didn't come off the ice. And that's something that sticks out to me is and we knew that coming in, but like McCarr to whoever is next is a massive gap. And it's a testament to his greatness. He's so good. But, it's not that it's a problem. I think they're going to win gold. I believe that. And I think going to Parayko, he's still a good player. And Doughty's a good player. And it's just he is so good.
Dude, he is disgusting. Like, I think there's separation, and you guys could probably tell me to the degree. Like, Erik Karlsson at his best, Makar is still like in his prime. Erik Karlsson, like Makar is another notch above that. Like, I just think he's that good, and that's a pretty scary proposition.
It is. There were a time where we were talking on this show if Karlsson was at 3, McDavid, Crosby, Karlsson type of thing. There's times where we've had this, whether we like it, we've had the conversation, is there anybody who's ever going to challenge McDavid? And we say maybe McKinnon, but I think Makar, different position, how dominant they are. Mm-hmm. That's how good he is. And
did you guys see those shifts where it was McDavid, McKinnon, and Makar out there with Celebrini and Tays? It was like, and they jacked it up a couple notches, and it was like, that was incredible to watch.
Like the Czechs, to their credit, they were like, just check, clog up everything you can, and survive.
Exactly. The Czechs did a great. Like I can't give them enough credit for they were desperate. They played hard. I thought Dosto made a couple good saves. It was That's as good as hockey. And again, I don't know, Brian, if it's a good thing or a bad thing that you say it's a 1 o'clock on a Wednesday. You know, like it felt
it's
different.
The reality, exactly. It would be great if it was 7 p.m. and everyone could get together. Like I picked up my oldest from school, and she was like, "Yeah, our class was going nuts. The school was going crazy," which is great because I asked her, I'm like, "Do you know what happened?" She goes, "Yeah, we won in overtime." And I would have to believe schools and businesses around the country that's kind of cool too. I find. You know, sometimes it's more memorable in a way if it's that unique. You know,
I remember doing that in school when I was growing up. Like the teacher would fire the game on. It was awesome.
Yeah, I think it's mandatory on Friday. We don't know when they're going to play, but if it's the 10:40 or 1:10 Eastern, that game's got to be on throughout the country. It's got to be. You have to have that game on for every classroom across the country. And you know, it's cool. Like walking into a dentist office and you're like, can we get the game on? Absolutely. You know, let's go. Let's fire up this root canal. No drugs because I got to watch. You know, let's do it raw. We're raw dogging this root canal so I can watch the game. You know, you got to do it. You got to sacrifice for your country to watch these games. But Sunday, if they get there, and they're going to play for a medal, but hopefully it's gold. That game will be at
what is their traffic now, Brian? The winner of what? Like, is it this?
Well, if Sweden beats the U.S., they'll play Sweden, and then I believe if the Americans win, they'll play Finland. I believe it is. So
what time is that U.S. game on? Is that on tonight?
It's on right now.
It's 0-0 halfway
with
through the
9
second
minutes
period.
left. Well, and both goalies have made unreal saves.
Yeah.
Like this Hellebuck.
This is a sweat.
Sweden's had some great looks, and Hellebuck's made some big saves, and Markstrom has robbed Eichel in tight. I mean, there's some good hockey going on, so it's good. And I'm nervous for the U.S. too. Same, just like I was nervous for Canada. You know, you get these teams, you're down into the good teams, not the ones that would lose to the Vancouver Canucks. These ones are
what's
the good ones?
Czechia Vancouver best of 7? What happens?
Czechia wins, though. I think
they win?
because Czechia has all NHL players.
Not all.
Their captain's
a guy that doesn't play in the NHL.
What I'm saying is that my line was Switzerland and France, and all of these teams that have 1 or 2 NHL players would get dummied. You get the higher-end teams like that, that's when you're looking at it.
Okay.
And U.S. just scored. So.
Okay, 1-0 Americans. I feel like they're going to sweat it out and they'll squeak through. And then I feel like semis, both teams, I don't know what's going to happen on Friday. But as we've been saying for the last couple of months, let's get Canada-U.S. cooking and see where the chips fall. Speaking of which, tomorrow, by this time, we're going to have crowned a gold medalist in the women's side of the bracket, Canada versus the United States. We're going to tee that up. We'll continue to look back on the big win in overtime today. Canada getting past Czechia 4-3. U.S.-Sweden currently playing, so we'll have updates on that all day. So full breakdown of what happened today, what's going to happen tomorrow, Canada versus U.S. in the women's gold. We'll catch up with Cheryl Pounder, who's over there. We're going to catch up with Struddy. Jason Strudwick is coming on here to pump the tires of Mitch Marner. That is what is going to happen today. Yeah. He is going to pump the tires of Mitch Marner. We've got picks for the Genesis. We're back at Riviera. We'll get to that. We've got role play coming up. We're off and running. OverDrive continues. TSN app and up on YouTube Live.
Memory of a Killer. All new Monday on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
Last night we let the liquor talk.
All right, OverDrive continues. Brought to you by FanDuel, bringing you more ways to play your game your way. Get to our best bets on the Genesis in just over an hour. Role play in about an hour. Jason Strudwick coming up. Canada with a 4-3 win in overtime over Czechia. And if you did not see the game, it was a sweat the whole game. The whole game. Czechia was in the lead basically the whole game outside of Celebrini early. And obviously McKinnon tied it up and Suzuki tied it up and Marner wins it in overtime.
Did you guys not get the ick early where you're like, something's not right here? Like, I totally had a bad vibe where I'm like, I just don't have – I got a bad feeling about this.
Dude, I had a World Junior vibe. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
World Juniers, Czechia. I'm like, it's 2-1.
It's like the air came out of this. Yeah, and it's like the air is out, and I don't know if they're doing it. And
I had the same vibe because I kept thinking, are we looking ahead? Are we looking past this going, can't wait for – America, Canada, and you're going, these other countries are going, putting their hand up, going, we're pretty damn good too. Mm-hmm. Czechia's one of them, Sweden's one of them, Finland's one of them. Like, you're looking at it. The longer that game went, the more nervous I was because I felt, because it might not have been the goaltender's fault. You throw a puck towards the net and you get a double deflection off of 2 shin pads, and the game's over. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's what I kept envisioning. This is what's going to happen here. And they found a way to get it done. Mitch Marner with a
beauty in overtime, man.
Unbelievable
beauty
individual.
In overtime.
Walks 3 guys, like base 1-on-3, really.
1-on-3. He picked that up before his own blue line. And, it was just a brilliant goal. It was a brilliant play. And they needed that. They needed someone to play hero because it wasn't going to be a blowout. You knew that early, right? You knew it early. By the end of the first, they weren't winning 6-2. You knew it was going to be a sweat. Czechia played very well. And listen, we get to the Olympics every 4 years when the NHLers are there, even when they're not, and people realize, oh, wait a minute, it's 3-on-3 in overtime. Yeah, it's 3-on-3 in overtime. And that's how it's going to be in the semis, if it gets there, and in the gold medal game.
By the way, if the 10-minute ended in 3-on-3, is that when it goes to a shootout?
Shootout.
Oh, my God, that's terrible. Like, it should be a 20-minute 3-on-3.
That's 98 flashback, man. That's 98.
I don't know, man.
All over again.
This 3-on-3, I don't love it for
It's entertaining,
overtime.
though,
I really
Noodles.
don't.
It is entertaining, man. I get it. I hear you. It's not the purity of the sport.
Would you feel the same way if Pasta scored that today? You know what I mean? Like,
I'd obviously feel burned, but my thought on that is I think 3-on-3 actually benefits Canada because they're so much more talented, and the high-end talent is just better. McDavid, McKinnon, McCarr, 3-on-3. I'll take my chances. All right, so Canada has survived, and they're off to the semis on Friday. So the next 48 hours, we got some big games. We got some big games coming up on the women's side. Canada, USA, gold medal tomorrow.
High demand.
Absolutely. It's going to be the biggest game in the country tomorrow, right? Like, everyone's going to be jacked for it, and Cheryl Pounder's been over there calling all these games. Her and Kenzie have done a phenomenal job. Cheryl's the busiest woman in Milan. It's either the women's side, the men's side. She was calling the Finland game today. Yeah. Here she is from
Milan.
Probably
doing some curling.
Yes,
doing it all.
Probably doing everything. Cheryl Pounder joining us. Are you doing bobsled over there? What else are you doing?
Boys, I'm doing it all. And you know what? I had a day off, and I did a lot of Aperol spritzes. That's what I'll tell you. On a patio, on the canal, ran into everyone. So, yeah, no, it was busy. It was my first day off, I think 18 days. So I enjoyed myself, but I was ready to go today.
That's what we love to hear, as you should. And, I know you were preoccupied at times today, but I know you watched the Canada game. You had your eye on everything, and you've been covering, the men's side. We'll get to the women's in a moment. But, the word survival comes to mind today. But do you think this could possibly benefit Canada, the fact that they got a scare here? Could this catapult them into the semis with maybe a different mentality that, in a way, they needed?
Yeah, I think anytime. When we're all sitting there with 5 minutes left and it's 2-1 or the Czechs are up, you're sitting there going, okay, enough is enough here, boys. And I was on the call with Kenzie on the Finland quarterfinal. So, we had it kind of in the background and we're kind of watching him break to see what was going on. and incredible stuff. Really. And sometimes when you face adversity in these types of tournaments, and very well could have gone the other way, and we're all sitting having postmortem talking about how the best team potentially ever iced, isn't even making it to the semis. But for whatever reason, they found a way. And whether it's Nick Suzuki, who didn't get off to the start he might have wanted, finding the back of the net for the equalizer, and then Marner, those things are certainly types of goals that get guys going, and they feel like, okay, now we've faced some adversity. The lineup got changed with Sidney Crosby out, and they found a way. And I think at the end of the day, if you find a way, regardless of how it happens, it pushes through. And this is a Canadian team we all know. We've all been talking about the Macklin Celebrinis of the world, or if you load up that top line, what it looks like, or if you get Morrissey back into the lineup. But, I turned to Kenzie in the booth, and I said, okay, that's it. This is the team that's going to show itself now, right? True. But for a moment, you're all sitting there going, I'm sending texts to my family that are in the stands at the game going, oh my God, is this really happening?
That's, believe me, what everyone was thinking here throughout the country. I can't believe this is how it's going to end. The buildup, we've been waiting 12 years, and they just beat up on Czechia a week ago. And, it obviously did not end up playing out that way because Canada survives. You mentioned Sid and the injury. You've been in so many rooms with captains and big players, and if, and we're knocking on wood, but if he's out for the final 2 games, how much of an impact do you think that will have on Canada, and who do you look at that you think has to step up the most?
Well, first of all, Hayes, it's Sidney Crosby. So, of course, it has an impact, right? It's like on the other side of it, when in the women's game, when they lose Poulin, clutch players that just have the gene. Even at the end of the game, how many people are thinking to themselves with 5 minutes left, oh my God, we don't have Sidney Crosby out there, or we can't turn to a guy like that. And so to me, it's irreplaceable. You're not going to replace this type of player with the experience and that gene that none of us, we look at those generational talents and we say they've got the gene, they've got the, that certain something that just knows how to bring it to elevate their game when it matters the most. So if it's out, I think it's by committee. This is a roster that can win, without Sidney Crosby, but it's about stepping up. And the one line that had stayed intact was his. So it's interesting to see, what will happen. You saw Suzuki move to the middle. You saw McKinnon elevate to the top line. So what's going to happen with the fourth line? With, is Horvat going to have to do more? Like there's all of those things. But I think it's by committee because it doesn't just affect one line. It does have a trickle-down effect. But these are the top guys in the country. And so they can find a way. They are good enough. I think Morrissey likely comes back into the lineup. I think you need his mobility on the blue line. Can they do it? Absolutely. But does it affect you? Of course it does. It's Sidney Crosby, and we've all been saying his name for so many years. But it always goes hand in hand with the Canadian flag and what he's been able to do for his country on the biggest stage.
So, Cheryl, I'll talk about both sides, the men's and the women's. Canada saw some adversity today for the men's side, and the women's, you just talked about the injury to Poulin. Do you think some of this adversity will help galvanize the group, moving forward? Because, the men's side hadn't had much adversity in their first couple games. They were just kind of rolling through. Everything seemed to fall into place. The women's went through some adversity earlier on with the Poulin injury. Do you think that this adversity could help them maybe, band together and get to that next level?
I think adversity can go, it can go two ways, right? And you guys all know, having played, sometimes, Fiala's out. I thought Switzerland was going to pull off the game today until the end of the game. Sending the video message, and you see the chemistry and you feel it. And sometimes it doesn't work out. But to me, when you get through it, regardless of whether you got a lucky break or it was a call or whatever, when you get through it and you get to the other side, you get the W, you're advancing. You feel like you can do it. There's that feeling. And so for me, when you face it and then the puck drops the next game when you're behind late in the game, you have the muscle memory of, we came back from this. We found a way. And so it's more a muscle memory, and you've got so many on the men's team. You've got veterans who've played in Stanley Cup finals. You've got that experience. So think they had it anyway, and which is likely why they found a way to get it done. But I do think it can galvanize. I think that with the Poulin injury, it's a little different because she's been the one over the course of, since 2010 that has been the key player to be the difference maker when it mattered the most. And much like against Switzerland in the semifinals, she did the exact same thing. And we're like, are you kidding me right now? So to me, it's less about having the adversity they faced, especially for the women, because they've faced it this whole year. Like they're 0-7 against the United States. So to me, it's about more, okay, it's one game. Everyone's got February 19th circled on their calendar. And when puck drops, in that moment, for that one moment of time, it's even. And so having played in a similar situation in 2002, having lost 8 straight games to the Americans, were they better? Damn right they were better. I mean, we lost 8 straight games. If we played a series of 7, we were losing. But in one game, you can get yourself up to the point where, we're the underdog or, whatever, and we can find a way. So I think it's going to be interesting tomorrow, guys, especially with the women's team. I think the men's team is expected to win because, look at the roster. But there's 60 minutes of hockey, and there's that certain something called belief. And when other teams have it, and they're playing against you, and they think you can beat you once, as we saw today with the Czechs, and we heard the commentary right before, we weren't going to beat them twice, so today's the day. And that's how Canada has to feel on the women's side going in tomorrow.
Cheryl, what's the one area, I know you talked about the winning streak the U.S. has, and be quite honest with you, they've kind of outclassed them in the performances where there have been some lopsided victories. Other than like going out and giving it the old Canadian effort and stuff like that, like what has to happen? Is there American players that are just shredding them, or like what's got to go down to flip the switch tomorrow?
So I think there's two things, though, and me from my technical side. I actually think it's less about technical, and it is about they have to win faceoffs, and they have to be first to the puck. So if they can get in on the hunt on the forecheck, to me, they have a chance. If the Americans are able to get into their zone, I think they're in major trouble. And so, because the Americans are able, they've just got pace, they've got finesse, they've got all of that. But one thing that anyone finds difficult, especially on small ice, is when you have to go back for a puck and you got a relentless forecheck. The difference being is you have to have possession to be able to establish that. So, you got to get it in deep. You have to have the puck in the neutral zone. You have to. So, to me, the Americans are better. So, Canada has to find a way to either get the first goal, stay close, and get their sticks tight, because they are expected to win. And so I think that's the advantage Canada has and sort of the mentality of the game. But I think it's all on the forecheck and where their high player is in zone. Because if the Americans are able to get that puck on layer and play rush hockey, the Canadians are in trouble because they chase the neutral zone, and then they chase in their own zone. And they can't close quick enough to be able to get them. So to me, it starts. They've got to be on the forecheck, and 2 words for them tomorrow: be first.
That's the perfect way to go about it. Find a way to win the game. Marie-Philippe Poulin, she looked healthy a couple of days ago. Both goals against Switzerland, so she'll be ready to rock. And this is what we've been waiting for, like you said, Cheryl. Canada, U.S. 1:10 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Puck drop, and you and Kenzie will be in the booth. It's going to be a lot of fun, so enjoy it. I'm sure it'll be nerve-wracking in there. And we're all pulling for Canada as always. So have a blast, and thank you for doing this.
Awesome, boys. Ciao.
Good catching up with you. Ciao. Ciao, Cheryl. There it is, Cheryl Pounder, live from Milan. The Americans, like she said, and Cheryl can speak from experience in 2002, leading up to those Olympic Games in Salt Lake. Like, the Americans were big favorites, and that was the Haley Wickenheiser show, and her saying what she said afterwards, and them getting
that was 10 in Vancouver. She said that
about the flag and all that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
So in 2002 it was, I don't know. I'm sure Haley factored in significantly in that. I'm sure too. But that's the reality going into this. Is the Americans are favored. They're heavily favored, but it is a one-game playoff. Man, it's get good goaltending, you get some clutch offense, find a way to shut things down. It can play out many different ways.
Yeah, but Canada's looking for a miracle, man, from what I've watched of those games, because, like I said to Cheryl, lopsided victories. Like, they're being outclassed. So they're going to have to dig down and find something that hasn't been there, whether it be a goaltender, whether it be Poulin going absolutely nuts, Sarah Fillier. I don't know what it's going to be, but they have to do something special.
Yes. Now, they got a lot of experience, right? Like Canada's got a lot of the older guard over there that have been through the ringer before. So maybe you can lean on that. But it'll be a great game tomorrow at 1:10. So Cheryl and Kenzie will have that call on CBC. And Canada, of course, waiting to see on the men's side who they're going to play in the semis on Friday. So we'll catch up with Jason Strudwick in about 20 minutes. Role play coming up as well. We'll continue to break down what happened this afternoon or this morning. Canada beating Czechia 4-3 in overtime. Mitch Marner with the OT winner. We're waiting on news from Sidney Crosby as well. He left the game in the second period with an injury. He's going to have an MRI, and they're going to make a call. I can't imagine we're going to get an update unless it's fully he's out of the tournament, right? Like, I think they'd give us that. He's done. He's not playing. But if he's 50-50, they'll give us the lower body. We'll see what happens. And we'll figure out as of Friday. And then maybe
game-time
into Sunday.
decision.
Game-time decision. I think that's kind of what you're hoping for, right? I'd take a game-time decision right now.
Dude, I think he's going to play, man. Remember when it was unlikely? It was like he was going to the Four Nations, and then he just had a big shoulder pad on, and he was wheeling around out there. I think he finds a way.
I'd love to see
Although I
him
will
play.
say it didn't really look good. Like, it didn't look good when he got hit, and then he started skating again, and he was a little bit surprised, and his kind of leg gave out. I was like, oh, boy.
Trouble. And he was walking gingerly down the pathway.
Yeah. But
Very
it's Sid the Kid. It's Sid the Kid.
It is Sid the Kid. And
this is not Hazy B getting off the couch from a session watching golf and blowing his knee out. It's Sid the Kid.
Absolutely. Polar opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of athleticism and health.
Yeah, isn't that what you did? You were watching TV and you got up.
I was laying on the floor, and I got up, and I lost my balance, and I blew out my meniscus. Tore my meniscus. Bucket tear, so I couldn't even bend my knee. It was insane, dude. If there was a camera on that.
Time to kill.
Were you creamed or something?
No, it was on a Saturday morning. I was watching Everly, my oldest. Aaron was my wife was at work. She came home for a break, and I was just laying around. I was like, all right, you guys go do your thing. I was probably sitting on my phone, just being a moron. I don't know. It was 8 years ago, and I got up and I lost my balance, and boom, gone. Blew out my knee. Bucket tear. It's the dumbest injury of all time. The dumbest, most embarrassing injury, and that's a true story. That's what happened. To make it worse, I think I was in a robe. I think I was wearing a robe.
I think you could have gone totally hero on that, where you could have said, like, there was an older lady at a grocery store, and someone tried to take her purse, and I saved her, and a guy took a bat to my leg, and I saved her, and I was down.
I can't. I got to be honest. And there was witnesses. I had two witnesses that were like, my wife came up and was like, what the hell? Like, it's excruciating pain. Like, you can imagine. You guys have blown out knees and shoulders and stuff. And I knew I was in big trouble. Immediately, I knew I was in big trouble. And I was.
That's tough.
It's horrible. It's so embarrassing. It's even more embarrassing now. For some reason, as I get older, it's like that. You were actually younger and kind of, like, healthy and in shape.
Yeah. It's almost like you like there's myths out there in the National Hockey League that guys have skated out for practice in a first kind of contract drill. Like, they told somebody, make sure you kind of give me a big hit, because, you know what I mean? They did something real stupid and blew their knee out, and so they had to get out of the ice. Yeah. Right. And they're like, make sure you take my knee out and I go down in the corner, because I got to make this look like something happened on the ice. But for you were just lying down.
Yeah, nothing. That's like crazy. Totally sober, 100% fine. Saturday morning, done. All right, Struddy role play coming up. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on YouTube Live.
Back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, so Canada found a way to win today. Probably the best way to describe it. Found a way to win. They got past Czechia 4-3 in overtime, and they're off to the semis. We wait to see who they're going to play. The Americans are up 1-0 on Sweden going into the third period. If Sweden wins that game, Canada will play Sweden. If the Americans win, Canada will play Finland. So, again, it's going to be tough. Whoever you're going to play, it's going to be tough. Slovakia is a great story. They keep winning, and they keep moving on and advancing. They're going to play for a medal. But, again, today there were so many storylines that came out of it. So many. But I think I keep coming back to Celebrini. 3 points in the biggest game of his life. 3 points in the biggest game of his life.
19 years old, dude.
19. Scores the first one, got an assist on the McKinnon goal, and got a primary assist on the winner in overtime. Incredible. Just incredible.
But he's done a good job of playing with McDavid. Like that play that McDavid got him that puck and that goal, you got to get that puck and fire it right away. You got to do something, and he's talented enough to do that. McDavid, when he plays with players, he makes them better, obviously. How many times have you watched Zach Hyman go to the net, and McDavid will give him a wide open back door?
Jamie, there is sometimes where you put a kid, however amount of talent they have, and they just get jittery and it doesn't work out, and they end up on the fourth line. With this kid, it's like he's thriving off it. He's like, that's where I'm supposed to be playing. I deserve that spot, and I'm going to make it work, which is that much more impressive at 19 years old.
Big time.
Right now, isn't he the MVP of the tournament almost, or him and McDavid?
I think it's still McDavid 1, but I think he's 2 on this team. I think through the quarterfinals, it's McDavid 1, Celebrini 2. And I think you're right, Noodles. Like you said earlier, you don't mess with that line. You don't mess with Celebrini and McDavid. They play. No. If Sid's not available, you put Bennett into the lineup. You work stuff around.
Dude, I would elevate Bennett too. You want to talk about a guy that plays behind Barkov and he's perfectly slotted. And I know the stats nerds will be like, boo. But
well, he didn't play today. I was a bit surprised by that.
Put it this way: Jarvis. I think you find a place for Sam Bennett as the games get deeper and more physical, and space is at a premium out there. He creates space, right? That's where I could find a spot for Sam Bennett in the lineup. Again, I'm looking
against
ahead.
the USA. I want Sam Bennett in the 2-hole.
That's
the 2-hole.
I'd have him in farther down, a little 3-hole for me, but still right in there.
Yes. Again, he may be banged up.
Oh, he's in the lineup. Put it that way for me. He has to be.
What hole was he in? What hole was he in when he won the Conn Smythe and 2 Stanley Cups?
Listen, the
I
2-hole.
But it's the Olympics, man. You're not knocking McKinnon out of the second.
McKinnon's on the top line. You just said, don't break up the line.
I'm not breaking up Celebrini and McDavid. I think you can keep Wilson there for part of the game and flip things around a little bit.
You're just like the other turkeys on Twitter. You don't have your facts. There was a guy saying put Thompson in net. There's all kinds of turkeys
out there. Who cares about people on
on
Twitter, though? It's completely irrelevant what people are saying on there.
We're always arguing with some guy on Twitter.
It doesn't matter.
Who cares?
Exactly. There's no conversation about any of that stuff that's in reality. So, all right, exactly. We'll continue this chat into the next hour. The realities of possibly missing out on Sid and what could happen and how much more difficult it's going to get moving forward. And I think we got to flesh that out a little bit. The MVPs might have to do that on the fly. If we got McDavid 1, I think we got Celebrini 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we can figure that out with Strud. And role play level of concern coming up as well. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on TSN 5.
It's a new season of IndyCar on TSN and TSN Plus. Who will take the first checkered flag when it all fires up on the streets of St. Pete?
Alex Palou has won
The Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg on TSN and TSN Plus.
The Montana's Briar on TSN.
This is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Hour 2 OverDrive continues, powered by FanDuel. Brian Hayes, the O-Dog, Jeff O'Neill, Jamie Noodles, McLennan. We're up on YouTube Live and streaming on the TSN app, tsn.ca. And we've got Struddy coming up in a few moments. Role play level of concern later in the hour. One of us might have to play the role of the Czech head coach because he is not happy with the officiating from earlier today.
He just scored a goal with 8 players on the ice. What is he talking about?
Yeah, I think everyone gets so puck focused. I think both teams and all the refs missed it. I honestly think because John Cooper was asked about it afterwards and apparently he just laughed and walked away. He's like, he probably should have admitted, like, we didn't see it either. We're just focused on getting lineups out there and line changes and that. Yeah. Like, everybody missed it. And it's easy for us when we're sitting and able to rewind and go through different angles. Like, they just flat out blew it. And nobody noticed it until it was done.
And that was the Platt goal that could have been the winner. And in another universe, if that was the winner and this came out after the game, Canadians would be going nuts. Like, can you imagine the amount of people, myself included, that would be going crazy about missing a blatant too many men?
Hayes, but both of you guys, let me ask you this. What if Cooper was yelling the whole way down the ice? Could he have, challenged it or said, look at the replay?
No challenge, but I think that's what Noodles is pointing to. Cooper should have been, and I don't think he did. I don't get the impression, you guys have been on benches where if you see too many, everyone is yelling.
There's always one guy that picks it out, whether it be an assistant coach, a guy that's just looking. But I don't know how everybody misses that. But what I'm saying is, if someone on Canada's bench did catch it, what could they have actually done?
Nothing.
Could they have
nothing. Other than yelled to get the attention of the ref, which does work a lot.
So once that puck goes in, there's nothing anybody.
There could be 15 guys on the ice.
Screwed up, man.
Yeah, outrageous. It is. But it's a miss by everybody. And, they're lucky. We can laugh about it now because, on the Canadian side, they won. But can you imagine how we open this show if that goal goes in, like it did, and they lose on it? It's Hello Darkness. It's reffing. It's what's going on with this and what's going on. How things changed on a Nick Suzuki goal, and then obviously Mitch Marner. That's how it changed.
That close, Noodles. That close.
That close. I'm telling you.
A tip in from Suzuki with 5 minutes left and an OT winner by Marner. If either of those don't happen, it is a completely different world right now.
Hayes,
guys, we're going over and questioning the selection process right now.
Yes. How could you have that guy on? Why didn't that guy play?
We would have
Canadian
the roster
Hockey
right
Summit.
up on the board. We would go through the maybe that guy shouldn't have been there.
You know what? I could let me dive into this world that doesn't exist because it doesn't matter. First guy that would have come up is Evan Bouchard probably makes a play late to win it or tie it, right? I think Evan Bouchard comes up. I think Schaefer comes up quick. They needed more pace on the back end. And maybe, Bedard probably tipped something late. I don't know. That's the world we'd be in right now, and you're right. And I'm so happy we're not.
Well, and the other thing, the most easy one is, didn't get the save from Bennington, right? That's that's where you're at. Didn't get the save. It's a goalie summit. It's a hockey summit. It's all of these other countries. Now we don't have to go through it for at least, 2 more days, something else.
We should have played. We should have recorded a fake loss first segment and just played it for the fans and said, "You could have had this," and we could have teed off on there. I'll tell you what, though, one thing you just mentioned, Hayes, that just kind of made me perk up a little bit. That Matthew Schaefer out there, I don't know, man.
Would he be flying? That's the next guy, Makar and him, right?
Yeah.
It's Makar on one pairing, him on the other.
Well, the other thing I'll throw out there, guys, we've been raving about Celebrini not being overwhelmed by the moment. Do you think that Schaefer kid would be overwhelmed?
No,
I don't.
I really don't. I think that those guys are just gods, and they don't care about anything.
That's my point. And, again, easy for us to sit here, but when you're looking at it and we're seeing some sample size from young players not being overwhelmed, I think Schaefer would be a guy that it is not. And you could have found a spot for him. But, again, they held up. We're not even picking at a carcass. We're picking at something that they won. So right. I think it's a good scenario to have, and I guarantee you that next guy would have been drinking some China Whites and drowning his sorrows if they had lost today.
Give me the first question when you get this guy up.
No kidding. All right, let's bring him in here from the Maple Toyota Hotline. Here's our good friend, Spengler Cup legend, Jason
Silver
Strudwick.
medalist.
How you doing, Struddy?
Good, and boys, I'm actually in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories today. I'm up here doing some stuff, teaching kids the finer details of hockey that they may not have from their local coaches.
I love it. Struddy, we were just talking about that Matthew Schaefer and how he wouldn't be fazed by anything. What was your prep like in the Spengler Cups and for big games? What did you do to not get psyched out and be afraid of the moment in those big matchups?
It's probably a lot. People ask questions of Pablo Picasso. Greatness just falls out of him, right? And that's the same thing. So how do you ask me to be detailed?
Is it possible to explain is what you're saying?
Yeah, how do you tell Whitney Houston to sing well? You just do.
Well, that's why you're in Yellowknife, man. That's
exactly right. Here you go, kids. Cross-check this guy in the head and rip it off the glass. You're telling me a guy in Yellowknife couldn't do that?
No.
You didn't touch the puck the whole shift. It's the best shift of your career.
Perfect bar to set for every kid in Yellowknife. Get off the ice without touching the puck, and it's a win. What a moment to have.
Touch it. That's why they have refs. The refs touch the puck. You just skate around.
That's right. Keep it out of your net, and everything's all good.
Freddie, what do you make of your idol, Mitch Marner, there? What do you make of it? I saw your tweet.
I honestly, I couldn't. It had to be him, right? It had to be him. You watch that game, kind of the way it was going, and he breaks. Well, they almost score. McDavid and McKinnon. I would call that loose coverage in my Yellowknife talk here with the kids. And, Binghamton comes up big, both at the end of the game and on that save. But then Mitch Marner, 1-on-3, give the guy credit. Every time Connor McDavid blasts through 2, 3, 4 guys, we rave about it. Well, he went through 3 guys. And that was very loose coverage by the Czech. I didn't really like the goal against. Now, Noodles, you might say differently on Dostal, but that was a really nice goal, man. I was really impressed by him, and they needed someone to step up. There was maybe not in that kind of that top upper end. They're kind of talking about Team Canada.
Well, Vegas Golden Knight legend Mitch Marner finds a way to do it, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful goal, and it was one of those games where you could tell early. We were saying it, Strud, the three of us, you knew after 20 minutes it was a sweat. They were not winning 6-2 or 7-2. They weren't just going to blow the doors off them. Czechia was there to play, and Dostal's a good goalie, and Canada looked jittery, and I'm curious if you have a reason for that. Was it the moment? Was it that the group stage was such a breeze? Was it reading your press clippings? You're the greatest team of all time.
Was it Czechia's play?
What would you kind of point to primarily as the reason why it was such a tight game?
Yeah, I'm going to start where you ended there, and I think you got to give Czech a lot of credit. You think back to that first game. Really for the first 20 minutes, they were right there with Canada, and then that goal kind of goes in late, and then it kind of unravels from there. But they're a proud team now. Their top end's good. Obviously, you kind of get into the lower regions of their lineup, and it's not quite as impressive what Canada has. But they're a proud group. And if I was Czech, if I'm in that room before the game, guys, it can't go as bad as it did for the first game for us against these guys. We can only do better, right? And I think they got going. They kind of started feeling good about themselves, and then they're like, we're in this one. And up to the last few minutes, I think that they were right there. And then possibly could have won that game, which should have been a stunner in that Olympic tournament. So now I think for Canada, you've been in a really tough game. They got to move on and kind of figure out what it looks like for the next game and then the game after that. But I think it's important to have kind of that tough moment where you come back and it's not McDavid or it's not McKinnon or it's not whoever that gets it done. It's some good goaltending. And then, Suzuki, who, people were kind of wondering about, but that was a beautiful tip. And I think a lot of people overlooked the play of the defenseman over there, but Tay shot for a spot, that he knew would be tippable, and he got it in there. So I liked it by two kind of not unknown players, but maybe players a little bit further down the lineup in Suzuki and Taves helped to get that thing back to even.
With Jason Strudwick, again, Canada beating Czechia 4-3 in overtime today. And, we were speaking hypothetically and having fun with living in a different universe. If Canada lost, it would have gone in a different direction. And we all know back in 2015, if one lottery ball fell a different way, Leaf legend Connor McDavid would be putting on a clinic over there. But instead, he's legend Connor McDavid. And, man, has he been good, Strud. You watch him up close and personal. You're in the building to see him play all the time. Is this a different level? Is it an expected level? Like, how do you break down McDavid's game compared to what you see on a daily basis?
Well, what blows me away is that amongst the best players in the world, he has 11 points in 4 games. I think, right? It's 11 points, I think, if I'm right. And these are the best players in the world, which is just incredible. And, there's a lot of best players in the world that are there, but he's doing it. And, I think what he could put up for numbers, if they do get to the 6th game, although I guess they'll get a 6th game now and may not be the gold one, but let's hope it is. But he's finding a way to get it done and to be elite amongst the elite. And I think that's what always blows me away. You think the last year in the Four Nations, he was good, but I think this year he's found another gear. Offensively especially, to kind of create and to make things happen for his line mates. But it's just amongst the elite, he's the most elite of them. And I think that is when you really start talking about separation and greatness.
Man, he needed that win today. I was in a dark place with him and the legacy and all that. Like, if they lost and I didn't even want to get down that road. And hopefully we don't have to at any point over the next, couple of games here. But, if Sid is out, Strud, we've all kind of thrown this around. Like, it sucks what happened to him. He left the game in the second period. If he's not available in the semis and or the final, how does that change up your lineup personally? Do you keep Celebrini with McDavid? Do you think of Celebrini up the middle of the ice? What do you do with the lineup if Sid is not going to be playing?
Well, was there anything updated after the game?
Nothing.
I thought nothing.
He's
Cooper
going for an MRI.
made a funny comment. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that I just hope he's okay because, man, you don't want to see that happening, especially with what's going on in Pittsburgh right now. Like, the way that they're played is incredible. I mean, I had them as a lottery pick. Instead, they're in the playoff hunt. So that's number one. Number two, I don't change at all my top 2 lines. I'm going to let these guys go, and then you have to figure out what does that look like for that line. So who becomes the centerman on that line, and then who moves up? Bo Horvat's been pretty good in that role, and then I think in that 4th line role, the penalty killer, winning face-offs. Does he get bumped up, and then does Sam Bennett pop up into that 4th line? Because I think Sam could probably do it. Can hopefully do what he does in that 4th spot, and then Horvat gets pushed up and takes his spot between the two, as you use, Golden Knight legend. So that's probably what I do, but I'm more looking at it from I don't want to disrupt what's going on for sure on Connor McDavid's line. What do you guys think about it?
Yeah, you got to, like Noodles said earlier, McDavid's your priority. Keep him happy, keep him cooking, and him and Celebrini.
Well, and he's got chemistry with Celebrini, Strud. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like, Celebrini's not overwhelmed by the moment. We were talking before you came on. We'd be dissecting the D if they didn't win. Could Matthew Schaefer be there? Could Evan Bouchard be there? A different look, but because I think the Schaefer kid would not be overwhelmed by it, even though he's a young kid. It just seems like these young guys embrace the moment and they go after it. So I don't think you mess with line mates with McDavid. You can give Wilson some looks there, and you can start to shrink the lineup as the game goes on. But the top 6 you don't mess with. I'd find a spot for Bennett, and you say move Horvat around, and to me they've got tremendous depth there. So I think you don't mess with it too much.
Yeah, the forwards.
Yeah, I think let's be careful.
Are loaded. Go ahead,
but you have to be careful. Well, we're not talking about guys that are playing 7 minutes in the NHL. Like, these guys are all stars. So it's funny when I hear the broadcast, and I get it. They're talking about the depth, but the depth is elite. Like, just put the bottom 6 next to the Czech bottom 6, right? Tomaszek was on, the Czech bottom 6. Like, he's not even an NHL player, You have Horvat. You have Bennett, who's won 2 Stanley Cups and the Conn Smythe Trophy, not even playing tonight. So, the depth is really good. It's just that they're not perhaps getting the ice time or the opportunity. So you push them up the lineup. They are capable of doing what needs to be done. I don't replace Sidney Crosby. Let's just be clear with that. His experience, what he's won, how he plays, he is irreplaceable. But if I'm going to replace him with any team, I'll give Canada a chance to figure that out with the depth they have.
Well, you mentioned the Penguins. The Kings are in a similar spot in the West without Fiala. They're fighting for their lives, and if Sid's out, we don't know, but if it's a bad injury, and Pittsburgh's in a playoff spot right now, does this affect what they do in the future of the NHL?
Certainly puts a wrench into it, Hayes.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, the owners are not. They're always. Nervous.
He's irreplaceable, guys. You're not just sliding somebody else in.
No,
I
know
Sidney
that, Noodles. I'm talking the bigger picture of players playing in the Olympics, where if Sid gets hurt, if it's hey, he's done and he's not playing for Pittsburgh and they fade and miss the playoffs, that is going. I got to think new ownership in Pitt is going to say, sorry, where are the Olympic Games in 4 years? And we're going again,
Tavares was one thing, but when it goes to Sid, people are like, all right.
Yeah.
But are you going to tell your player that? Are you going to tell your top player you're not allowed to go to the Olympics? That's a tough conversation to have. Imagine Toronto telling Matthews or Edmonton telling Connor McDavid, let's say 4 years, the Islanders trying to tell Schaefer that.
Yeah.
Sorry, you just won 2, or maybe he's won 1 Norris Trophy between now and then, and you're you're not allowed to go? No, I want to go. I think that's the hard part, right? So I think that's where these owners have a tough time. It's easy to say we should not send them, but it's tough, I think, in reality.
Yeah, it is. And the players want to go. They fight for it. The Players Association.
They do. It's
fight
special.
for it.
It's special.
Yeah, it is.
Well, do you think, though, just quickly, do you think that there is a little bit of, I wouldn't say remorse on this, just the scheduling of it? Do you think that, the players wanted to go to the Olympics, but, the condensed schedule, everything, guys are paying the price for it. The product stinks, all of that. To me, when you have an Olympic year, maybe the one takeaway I would take from this is start the season earlier. You had an opportunity to start it maybe a week earlier and spread things out, or 10 days earlier. I think that could be one learning curve from all of this, because I've been complaining
that's so simple,
about it.
though.
Right.
How come so simple as 10 days early? How come none of these brain surgeons come up with that? It's insane to me.
Well, I don't know. All I'm saying is, if there is something that could be learned from this, is the product leading up to this Olympics was watered down and not very good. And most nights you're looking at a team that's dog-tired, that's playing 4 games in 6 nights. And I know we're getting some great hockey right now, but these guys that are playing right now are going to come back into a sprint for 25 games. They've given up a lot. They sacrificed a lot this season. And we are going to see injuries and weird things happen down the stretch here. So that would be my only takeaway out of all of this. We're enjoying amazing hockey, and I think it's great. But the scheduling of all this, just to protect the actual athlete, to protect the product, they might have to look at that moving forward.
That would be ideal. Perfect world, yeah. Start 10 days earlier and start the playoffs 10 days later. Spread it out on both ends.
Something like that, yeah.
It's business, it's TV. There's other elements, and that's the reality of it. All right, Strud, we'll get you out of here with an over/under. Let's say the next 2 games Canada plays, semis and gold medal. Let's presume they make it, and they both end in regulation. So 60 total minutes of hockey. How many minutes do you think, or 120 total minutes of hockey, how many do you think Cale Makar will play? Over, under 59.5 minutes.
I'm gonna go under. That's a lot of minutes. But what did he play today?
Oh, he was way up there, high 20s. He played 10 minutes in the second period, I believe. Over 10 minutes in the second period.
I love watching him play. My hope is so I'm going to answer under, because that's a ton of minutes. Yeah. But I would love to see. I can't wait to see the Canada forwards against the American D-men. Those D are so good, and then that includes having Makar out there against Hughes and company. The D are so elite on that USA team. I think this will be a really fun battle. And I know there's some games that have to happen between now and then, but I want to see that so badly with that group healthy.
Big time. Big time. All right, Struddy. We'll let you get back to what's next, like a whiteboard session. You bringing out the game tape from your glory days up in Whitehorse or what? Or Yellowknife? You're in Yellowknife.
Well, understanding, if it's a 15-foot glass, you can go up to 14 feet 6 inches to go off the glass, right? There's tons, and you can get it out every time. Yeah. And the forwards can't complain because you're not in your own zone anymore, right? Just go get it, boys. Go get it back.
I love it.
What's tomorrow's lesson? Trip a guy when you get beat one-on-one, Struddy?
No, you got to sell it. You got to pretend like you fall. You got to pretend like you fall, and you take the guy out.
You know what it is? No, you know what it is? It's handing the stinky glove out in a scrum, like Struddy's going to be doing all these little
day 3.
Cagey. Yeah, exactly. Day 3 is how to punch somebody in the face in a scrum.
And to act like it wasn't your fault, right? Nothing's ever your fault. It's always an accident, and the refs didn't see it properly, right? Or my favorite's when everyone's skating up the ice and they're looking up ice, you slash the guy at the side. And then when he goes down, like, what's his problem? And that's why, what do you mean he dropped? And then you're trying to argue with the ref that it was an accident.
Perfect. All of this is available in Struddy's classes, up in Yellowknife.
Yeah, camps.
Yeah.
Come to my camps in Yellowknife. They're elite hockey players.
Cannot wait.
Probably going to be a few in the Olympic team in a couple of years.
I can only imagine. I think it's a lock. Thank you, Struddy. Get back to the kids out there.
Boys.
Have yourself a great couple of days.
Enjoy the weekend.
You too. There's Jason Strudwick joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline. Imagine Struddy. Imagine like you're a kid learning the game, and you walk into a boardroom, and Struddy has his Spengler Cup gold medal shifts isolated, breaking down his shift after shift performance at the Spengler or in Kamloops for the Memorial Cup runs.
He did have, I think he's got 2 Memorial Cups.
Yeah,
he's got 2 rings. Tux has 3, right?
Just ask him.
Tux has 3.
Tux's famous chirp in the NHL. How many Memorial Cup rings you got? Guys are like, we're in the NHL. Get the hell out of here.
I love that. Well, I think Nasher had 3 too, wasn't it? And I think Huska might have 3.
There was some of them, and wasn't there 4 in a row?
No, it was 3 and 4 years.
3 and 4.
And it was, and they were, it was the Kamloops Mafia. Just ask them. It's Ginla, it's Nash, it's Doan, it's Niedermeyer, it's Strudwick, it's all of those guys.
Wasn't your boy Nat on that team too, wasn't he?
Nat Dominicelli, yeah. I mean, there was some. So honestly, that program was unbelievable. They were like the London Knights. That's what they were. They were the London Knights of the West. They were that good.
Well,
and
Niedermeyer went through there like a few years before. Scott Niedermeyer.
It was.
And
Scott,
they might have won when he was there, I think, in 90 or something like that.
I think it kind of rolled in him. He rolled into it. I can't remember because keep in mind, Scott Niedermeyer retired at an earlier age. Like, he could have played till he was 40. I think he retired at like 33, 34 because hockey was just too easy for him. He was ready to move on. But,
it sure was,
cool
man.
Stuff.
He won everything. All right. Well, there you go. Struddy up in Yellowknife, changing lives. I love seeing that. Love hearing that.
Ruining D-men one by one.
Just stay at home
that
D-man
should be his
camp.
tagline.
Yes.
Stay at home D-man camp.
Yeah, come on out to Jason Strudwick's D-man camp. Ruining D since 1987.
Yeah.
We got to create a T-shirt or something like that, a slogan. It would be so funny.
Just with a guy with a beard like cross-checking another guy in front of the net.
Not even a stick, just the 2x4.
I love it.
Be awesome.
All right, role play coming up. Best bets a little bit later in the hour. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on YouTube Live.
So, Sir Duncan the Tall, how good a knight are you?
You can never ask me to stop drinking. Do you understand?
I do. I really do.
One bourbon, one scotch, one beer.
All right, role play level of concern. Where are we at with the U.S. and Sweden? What's the level of concern for the Americans?
Tie game with 91
The
seconds
Swedes have tied the game.
I told you. I had a stinky feeling about that one, too. A stinky, rotten As soon as I started watching that Canada game with the Czechs, like just the way it was going, I've seen enough games where I'm like, I got a bad vibe about this. It's like the quality chances were towards the Czechs. And I was like, something just doesn't feel right. Hey, it was wrong. Canada came out on top. When I saw that Sweden roster, I was like, those guys they're going to cause somebody a problem, man.
They're good. Like Hedman, I guess, got injured in the warm-up. So, isn't even playing. Rasmus Andersson healthy again.
Dude, that is bizarro world, man.
Bizarre.
Has the coach said why?
No, I guess. Yeah. Listen, it's just like Kyle Connor and the American, coaches, they like a guy or they don't. Anderson's a really good player. He's not a superstar.
I get it, dude, but he's playing on a Swedish team.
I get it, but they're loaded, man. Like they got some really good players, and now it's going to be Austin or Willie. Which one? Because we did the Marner thing, right? Like Marner's not here anymore, obviously. But the second Mitch Marner scored, the whole country seemed to jump on the Leafs angle of it all. Whether it was, and I got a million texts, I'm sure you guys did, right? Half of them were, Leafs and Leaf fans, idiots, how could you run them out? And the other half was, where was that for 9 years?
That's the point I was trying to get across, where at the beginning of the show where I was like, me and my buddy were sitting on my couch. He was supposed to be working in my house, but he decided to spend 3 hours watching the hockey game. And we were so excited. And then I just looked at him like, how come no one's enjoying this? It just turned into a gong show. It shocked me. I thought it would be like everyone, the Marner haters, the Marner lovers coming together and just saying, that was a great moment, because it was spectacular.
It was a spectacular moment. And honestly, I've waited 10 years for that moment from Mitch Marner. And I got it. As a Canadian, I got it. Like I'm as big of a fan of Team Canada as anything else.
Yeah, and I told you, Hayes, two things can be true. Just because he got that goal for Canada doesn't mean that he lit it up every time the team needed him or was a part of big goals for the Leafs in the playoffs, because that simply was not the case. And it also doesn't take away from the fact his play from the Leafs in the last year, he's made some great plays with Canada, man.
Yes.
Yeah,
listen,
it's true.
He has played, I believe he has played 18 Game 5, 6, and 7s in his career in the NHL. 18 of them. He's not scored a goal yet in any of those games.
That's crazy.
So why is this the biggest goal of his career? Because of that stat.
Right.
Like if you don't score a massive OT winner in Game 6 or Game 7 or anything like that, we're talking about signature moments. I don't know what his signature moment is in the NHL. I don't, not in the playoffs. I mean, he's had great moments, clearly, in games 1 through 4. Early in his career, he did. I don't know what Austin's is. I don't know what Willie's is.
Well,
it's
I
not
got
just
one
him.
for you.
Go ahead.
I got one for you. 3-on-3 overtime. Guess who's? It's 88. He's the master of 3-on-3.
Willie 3-on-3 is a dangerous individual.
That's why like I say, I don't like the 3-on-3 when it means something. Regular season NHL, no problem. But here, like the Olympics, like 3-on-3, not that the U.S. outplayed him. Sweden was right there. But now it comes down to pond hockey.
Yep.
And Willie be cheating, and he'll be up there. He's going to get a breakaway and score, and Sweden's moving on.
Someone's going to cheat here. Well, and that's what happened. McDavid and McKinnon were, they cheated, and then they got tired and they got caught out there. And, they had a full-blown breakdown in their 3-on-3 shift. Like a full right down Broadway breakdown.
But I told you guys about a month ago where it's like the the heaven and hell of trying to sniff around 3-on-3. The one example was Matthews. He was sniffing for that breakaway in Vegas. He got burned. Everybody called him out saying, what a loser. This guy cheats. All he wants is offense. 2 weeks later, McDavid did the exact same thing. He got a breakaway and scored the goal, and everyone was like, look at McJesus.
Greatness. The greatest.
Greatness sniffing out that play. He was patient. He waited for it, and he capitalized.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that is the reality of a puck bouncing one way or the other. You know, that's the way it goes. All right, so we have a couple of role play level of concerns. We are tracking USA Sweden. Are they into overtime? Like, are they going into overtime?
They're just about to start here, but yes,
I can see the distraction. Can the two of you please just?
I'm not watching anything.
I'm not either. I could see Noodles. He's like at a bar. This is Noodles for the last hour and a half. Yeah, good point. Yeah, Mitch Marner.
My eye line is right there, but the TV's right behind it, so I'm like staring at you guys. I would rather they put up the stills. Put up the stills.
Put up the stills. So watch the game.
Dude, that is the dumb. We're never doing that again.
Put a still of Mitch Marner riding his stick.
How can we have this all over our TVs, but we can't play the highlights of the? It is bizarre.
It's about. I don't know, man. There's certain rights and all that stuff.
Just when they're in overtime, put up a still of Mitch Marner scoring with his arms in the air, and then we'll just keep talking.
Dude, just throw on a pair of sunglasses, and that's what you need to do. Put on your shades, and there it is. Okay, what's going on in overtime here? This is great stuff. I love it. This is beautiful. We're up on YouTube Live, or of course on TSN5. Or this is why you got a podcast, or you got a DVR, or do whatever you got to do.
Dude, that's not even a still. That was a drawing. That was like a painting, man. That's not even a still.
That's AI? You're calling AI on that?
I'm calling that's a painting, man. That's not even
I know Butcher Gross does this all the time, but who are you calling for the U.S. or Sweden? Do you have names?
I'm going Austin and Willie. Give me both Leafs.
Nice,
it's the Leafs Day. It's all about the Maple Leafs.
It's amazing Leafs Day. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it is. The Leafs are going to factor in.
I will go Eichel and give me somebody else. Forsling, like a D.
Okay.
I'm going to go with that stinky Larkin. He's just got some speed.
Well, he scored the only goal, man. Mm-hmm. He's got USA's goal. So,
give me another Swede forward.
Well, Forsberg, I don't know how much he's playing because they never really play him.
But Forsberg's been playing quite a bit.
I'll go Petey, my guy, EP40, man.
EP40.
I love him in these situations.
Yeah.
Zibanejad might, because he got the game-tying goal. But
he could. All right, role play level of concern here. Oh, you're playing the role of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, again, we're reaching here. We're hoping this isn't true, but Sid, it did not look good. If Sid is injured long-term, what is your level of concern? Your season is officially in jeopardy.
At least Stevie Caldwell.
A couple of whiskeys and 5 or 6 beers.
Is there anything between Stevie Caldwell and Play It?
Oh, yeah, there's Rick Bush.
I think Rick
6
Bush
Bush Light, 6 Bud Light, and I love them, tall boys.
I think that cat, what's he doing after a Canada OT winner?
My God. He is peeled off the sidewalk in Hamilton, like with his tooth dug into it.
Now.
You'll have like 4 beer.
Yeah, you should on a Thursday or Wednesday afternoon.
Because with no Sid, like in the NHL, like he's the guy moving the needle for that team. It's not Malkin's played well and Letang does his thing, and Skinner's been good but it's all about Sid. He's the guy that drives the bus, man. And if he's gone, they're in big time trouble. I don't think there's any other really way to assess it.
No, I don't think there is either. I really hope that's not the case for Canada, for Sid and the Penguins, because they've been such a great story. Like, I was a swing and a miss for the whole hockey world that I thought they would be a terrible team. I think most people did. Yeah. And they've been great. And Sid is the engine, and he's been amazing. I do think it's a significant level of concern. I don't think it is Nick Cage because they have been collectively so good. Their goaltending's been good. You know, they're obviously that division isn't great. You know, they're fighting with like the Islanders and Carolina's going.
Yeah. Do they have enough cushion where you say, I think you said yesterday, Detroit's gone, Tampa gone. Like, are you comfortable saying Pitt's gone in that division?
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm not.
Oh, boy.
Even with Sid, I'm not, because I've been waiting for the House of Cards to kind of collapse a little bit. Without Sid, I'm certainly not. But listen, they're a favorite to make it for sure. They've earned that through 57 games. All right, Noodles, you're playing the role of Olympic fans. Olympic fans, what is your level of concern? Injuries like Sid and Fiala and others could lead the NHL to pulling out of future Olympics.
I mean,
Wow, you really think
Rick,
this Sid injury could sway owners, Hayes?
I don't know, man. That's a pretty big one.
I don't know
It's always a
owners, but
concern.
I want to say Stevie Caldwell. I mean,
a couple of whiskeys and 5 or 6 beers.
Because of what Struddy said, you can't go to these guys and go, hey, you know what, like, you can't play in the Olympics because we're playing you 11. We had the argument about, or debate about William Nylander, limping into the last couple games, but he played, and all of a sudden he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these guys dream about it. They dream of playing in the NHL. I get it. It's a massive responsibility. There's a lot of money being paid, but the fans are one thing. Organizations are different. Like that's the difference for me. So that's why I'm Stevie Caldwell. I would be more concerned. Like it's Rick Bushwood or higher. If McDavid gets hurt or McKinnon and all these teams that have aspirations, yeah, fan bases will light buildings on fire. But ultimately these players want to play in this. So that's why I'm Stevie Caldwell, even though it might be higher.
No, I think you're right, though. I mean, the Players Association have fought for it. The players want to be there.
Yes,
and
exactly.
the fans want them to be there. I understand where the owners are coming from. They also don't like, really at the core of all this, is they don't like that they have to shut their businesses down when it's go time. The NFL's done. College football's done. And they don't get anything out of it financially. The IOC and IIHF get it. Because there is a level of hypocrisy with any owner saying, well, I don't like them playing for any team but mine. And then it's like, well, the World Cup, that's cool because we make money on it. That's an NHL event. And they're going to do that. They're going to launch the World Cup every 4 years, I believe. And it'll be NHL sanctioned. It'll be in North America. They'll make all the money. And guys will get hurt. And they'll say, well, I guess you can't bubble wrap guys. Well, of course, you're okay with it now because you're making your own money.
Because it's self-serving. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I do think it's extreme to get there immediately, like it's just going to end in 4 years or 8 years or what have you, because, it's great to have them back. And today's all you need to jolt. Beating France 10-2, no one's going to remember that. Beating Switzerland and Czechia a week ago, no one's going to remember that. This is a game today for Canada, for Czechs. They'll never forget. Finland was down 2-0 to Switzerland. They stormed back. Arturi Lehkonen won it in overtime. This is our third overtime game in a day.
Yeah.
Like, this is amazing. The Americans and Swedes are in overtime right now. This will be a game we'll never forget. And this is what you wait for. This is all you need. 2 or 3 great days, and it's like, done. Awesome. We'll see you in 4 years. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, we'll come back and get to our best bets. Genesis picks, all right? So we're back at Riviera, one of the best courses on tour. Maybe the number one. I mean, it is so good to watch them play this course. And you think, confirm or deny, by the time we get back on the air, someone's won this game?
I can maybe confirm that already.
Confirm it.
Is it who won it? Just say.
America has won the game.
Quinn
Hughes.
Quinn Hughes.
No way.
Posting in. Yeah. Honest to God, Matthews had an unreal chance. Eichel had an unreal chance. Like Markstrom stood on his head.
Oh,
and
the Americans and Canadians survive in the quarters.
Yeah.
Survive. So it's Canada, Finland, USA, Slovakia on Friday. There's your semis. Wow, Quinn Hughes. Now, a guy was missing the overtime with the Four Nations. He was the only guy that wasn't there.
Yeah.
He's there now, man. There's an arrival for him. What a play. I haven't even seen it yet, and I know it's great.
You think Billy Guerin would be fired up about that?
Oh, man. How about people in Vancouver? How do you let go of that guy? Or why how can you ever let go of Quinn Hughes?
Exactly, yeah.
Right, let's launch it, right? The Leafs got their hits today.
There it is, yeah.
Launch it at Vancouver,
Canadian.
Gear up, man. Canuck fans, gear up. It's your turn now.
Yeah,
how could you ever run him out of town? How could you ever let a guy like Quinn Hughes
run
go?
him out of town?
You can't run him out of town. Look how clutch he is. Look how great Quinn Hughes is. All right, best bets coming up. OverDrive continues up on YouTube Live.
Memory of a Killer. All new Monday on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
Back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, so the next 48 hours are going to be pretty wild, man. Buckle up. We've got
Massive.
Canada, USA, women's goal tomorrow at just after 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. Eastern. And now the semis are set on the men's side. Canada, Finland, that's a tough game. But you're in the semis. Of course it's going to be a tough game. Yeah. And the U.S. against Slovakia, I would say the U.S. is in a better place playing Slovakia. But they have been a really good Olympic team. Like they have connected from the hop. They have played really, really strong, really, really well. And those are the teams that can get you because, if you look down on them and think, oh, we can smoke these guys, you find yourself in a game pretty quickly.
Yeah, I agree.
But, it's trending towards what I think most people have thought or expected for quite some time. Canada, USA for the gold on Sunday.
Man, that's dicey in overtime, 3-on-3. Like, even when Canada was playing the Czechs today, guys, like when it was 2-1 Czechs, like you're thinking there, it's kind of getting late. If they popped one more, it's like, that's the game.
Game over.
Like, those were tense situations. And for everybody saying they would, well, not everyone, just a couple people, I thought Binnington made some terrific saves,
Great
man.
saves late.
Like, really
Great
good saves when he was in the clutch.
Yeah.
Don't you think... I think he had announced that or made that very clear last year at the Four Nations. The way he played in that final game was unbelievable. He was phenomenal against the Americans. And today, when they needed him most, 3-3 late into overtime, he was great. He made some great saves. Nate just on a breakaway. There were other opportunities where breakdowns from Canada. And I think if it continues, like the trade deadline, how does he not get traded to a team competing for a cup? Like, how does someone not just say, I get the NHL numbers. I get it. I get his contract and all that. But
how does Carolina maybe Carolina not look at him and say, we got to give this guy a sniff? And
you're right. The only thing I would say, Brian, is any of those. Just answered the question. Carolina's the only team. Now, Freddie's been healthy. Freddie played for the
I know,
games,
but Jamie,
right?
who the hell do you want in the playoffs? You can't trust Freddie Anderson, whether it be performance or injury. I would the same thing happens to the Canes all the time, so why not switch it up?
I agree with you 100% because I was going to say name a contending team that you think that hasn't at least tried to address their goaltending. Carolina would come to mind. Everybody else, I think they at least believe that they've got or have changed it to try. Colorado did it. Edmonton did it. Colorado did it 2 years ago. But my point being is you look at some of the teams that want to. Minnesota's in good shape. Audi, like Vasilevsky's not going anywhere.
No.
So you're trying to think of the teams that are good. Carolina is the one that you're right. You might as well push your chips in and say, let's go for a guy who is a big game goaltender, because that's what Jordan Binnington is actually starting to get a reputation for is, maybe it's a modern-day Grant Fuhr. And, again, Grant Fuhr, many cups, all of that type of stuff. But save when you need it.
That's it.
That's
it, man.
He gave, like you said, Brian, he gave two big saves when it was needed at the tie game, today.
Kept their Olympics alive, man.
Exactly.
And Suzuki was, Marner's the hero. Suzuki's a hero because he tied it late, and that's a massive goal. Both of them scoring the biggest goals of their careers. But, without Binnington making big stops, and now you got a day off, game Friday, day off, game Sunday. So everyone's going to be hopefully rested. We'll see what happens with Sid. Hopefully by tomorrow we have some sort of an answer on what's up with Crosby. Morrissey, I'll believe it when I see it that he plays. I thought he was playing today.
Yeah.
And he didn't. I'm not convinced to play. We'll see. But
they were saying Morrissey, dude, he can't even shoot a puck. He was just out there passing. He must be donezo. I don't know.
I'm worried about that too. That might be a decoy. He's out there trying, and we'll see. I think Bennett could be banged up too, man. I think Bennett.
No kidding. How do you think Winnipeg? You talk about Sid and the owner, Winnipeg. You think they're jacked up about Morrissey coming back with a big time injury? They must be God darn it.
Yeah. Well, they're probably in tank mode anyway. I mean, they probably should be. But
they're in one for sure.
They're in one.
Yeah.
All right, Best Bets powered by FanDuel. We've got another big tournament here. Riviera, Genesis, Tiger the host. It's a field that is just loaded. Where do we stand here? We know we're probably at the top going to flip, the two guys, Scheffler and McIlroy. But this course is not like the best players haven't always won here. Tiger's never won at this course.
No, he has not.
But
who had the first pick last week? I think you did, and you took Rory.
I think I did. So I'll give you the first pick. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to give you my first two picks because I made a decision last week that was unbecoming, and it wasn't staying true to my values.
Okay.
I'm taking Scotty Scheffler and Keegan Bradley.
Wow, Keegan Bradley out of the gate. I love Keegan. I love the way he plays. All right, well, I'll take McIlroy, and I'll take Fleetwood out of the gate. 2-pack out of the gate. I think
McIlroy and Fleetwood.
They'll be sniffing.
I'm going to go a guy that plays this course fairly well, I believe. I'm going to go Shane Lowry and Xander.
Okay, and I will take Cameron Young and Sam Burns. Sammy Burns was right on
Dialed.
Yes, dialed last week.
How many do I get left?
What's that, 4 for us? I think another 2-pack makes sense.
You know who I'm going to take? Do I want to take Nikki Taylor, or is it too much of a big boy golf course?
It's playing long.
Dude, did you see what they did to that one?
Yeah, the fourth hole. It's 273 yards. It's a par 3.
Like, why would anyone want to do that?
I don't know. I find that absurd. I don't like it at all. All right, who do you got? 2 more.
Let me look here. You know what? Siwoo's one of them.
Yeah,
I'll take a Siwoo.
Siwoo. Okay,
Siwoo, Kim?
Go ahead. I'll take
J Rose.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take Decky. Matsuyama's been sniffing for weeks. He likes this track, man. He's won here before. Right? I'll take Decky. And, I'm going to take 2 more so you can have 1 more. I'll take Henley and Sepp Straka.
You know what? I hate to do this to you. I'm going to take that stinky old Matty Fitzpatrick with his 17-size Skechers.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Heath
I'm so
done.
You're taking more picks? You want somebody else?
Yeah. No, I kind of like Sahith. I like Sahith at this venue.
Love Sahith. Love it. But I think we've locked them all in. All right. Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Same game parlays around the PGA Tour are available on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Please play responsibly. 18+. Physically located in Ontario. Sammy Burns, man, he looks beautiful in the Peter Millar. I'm rocking the Peter Millar hoodie right now. I'm getting ready to go. It's golf season right around the corner.
You know what? Give me Rusty Henley, would you?
I just took Henley. I took Henley. I took him. I took Decky and Henley. You want more picks? Like who wants
I could do an hour. I could do an hour segment. I look at guys and I'm like,
all right, give me one more. Give me one more. I'll take Jake Knapp. You can have one more guy. I love Jake Knapp right now. I love the way he's playing.
You know what? I'm going to take a guy that's going to dig down deep and find something that he hasn't had in a long time. Wendy Clark. Wyndham
the Snap Show. Okay, Wyndham Clark.
Don't call him the Snap Show. He only had a couple episodes.
Watch your lockers. Keep your lockers locked down.
Wasn't that bizarre when he caved in a locker at
U.S. Open? It was
U.S.
at
Open, and someone took pics and ratted him out.
Yeah, I know. That was greasy. That was greasy. All right, there it is. We got about 15 guys each, man. We're going to hit a winner.
We got to get a winner.
Did anyone take McIlroy? Did I take McIlroy? I don't even remember now.
I didn't.
Okay, I got McIlroy. I knew I took McIlroy. Of course I did.
Doogie, figure it out.
All right. Canada, U.S. gold medal tomorrow. Full breakdown. We cannot wait. We know Canada is playing Finland in the semis on the men's side on Friday. We look forward to that. Man, it's going to be a fun week. It's already been a fun week. You can find everything up on YouTube Live, everything podcasted, the iHeartRadio app, wherever you want to find a show, we're out there. We're everywhere. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out today. We appreciate it. Everyone for tuning in today, TV, radio, podcast, web, up on YouTube Live, on TSN's YouTube channel. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at
Big Aaron, you're still cooking. 4 p.m.
We'll chat then.